let's talk briefly because we didn't touch on it, but before they rewarmed her, they needed our consent or whether or not she would be a DNR. So you don't know what that is, do not resuscitate. There's a somewhat of a likelihood during the rewarming process that the baby can go into cardiac arrest again, and they needed to know if we would want her to be resuscitated again. And I was blindsided by that question. I was not expecting it. It was a necessary question. I just didn't know that it was going to come. We decided, yes, we would want her to be resuscitated again because we hadn't gotten the results of her MRI yet. The doctor that had that conversation, loved dearly, is a friend at this point, had, explained the gravity of what we were potentially facing, and the he did in a very professional and kind way remind us that we had other children that we needed to think about as part of that decision. And I think that that's important because it's such a deeply personal decision and depends entirely upon the situation and the family and the preference and all of that stuff. But there are other children involved. And so because they couldn't make that decision, obviously, the parents have to make it. It is making a decision in a way for them as well. So yeah, we decided that, and I think we both pretty much instantly agreed. I don't think there was really much discussion. We were both on the same page automatically.
Yeah.
I will say this. I know that we had a conversation about feeling some guilt over selfish thoughts and not wanting to have a child that was severely disabled. And that is okay. That is normal. Any human being is going almost any human being is going to think that thoughts. It is okay to have when you are faced with something that you never expected to happen. And of course, you're going to have a fleeting thought or a persistent thought or a fear that you might be faced with parenting a child that you don't know how to parent and that you've never been faced with before, and the impact that that will have on your life, on your other children's lives, on your baby. And so yeah, we wrestled with that, but I think that we both kind of encourage each other, like, we're both having this thought, and I think this is okay and this is healthy and we can process this together. I don't know, is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, it's just good to talk about it openly and
Mhm.
come to the same conclusion because there's definitely discussion there.
Well, and I think a lot of people probably aren't willing to necessarily it's hard to say, "Oh, yeah, I thought about the fact that it would be a, quote, burden to have a child with severe disability."
Mhm.
But look, caregiver burden is a real thing. We know that now. Caregiving burden is a thing, not the child. The child is not a burden, but the circumstances that the child is in are a burden for the family and for the child. They can also be a blessing, but that doesn't mean that they're not at times a burden. And in life, we're going to have burdens that have nothing to do with how much we love or care for or want, you know, that person.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so I guess you want to fast forward a little bit to the MRI?